Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the 2015 movie Turbo Kid, which is available on UK Netflix or DVD and Blu-ray. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, Catching Up with Jack and Liam. So tell me, Jack, what misadventures have you been up to this week?
Not much, Liam. As listeners to the last episode may know, we are recording this a week after the last recording.
So a week earlier than we would normally record.
Yeah, so nothing has happened. I save everything for bi-weekly,
So tell me, why are we doing this a week early, Jack?
Because you're going to America.
Well, since you bring it up. It's true, listeners. I am jet-setting off to the US of A for a week with work. So, don't be too jealous, because it's with work.
It's still America, though.
It is, and I'm sure some of it might still be good, but it is with work, and I will have to, do work.
But, so how long... So what are you doing out there, if you can say?
I'm filming some people that are pretty high up in the company.
Oh, fair enough.
So no pressure,
But, I mean, that won't be a full day, will it? Or...
Well, that's one of the things we're doing. We are doing other stuff out there as well. Okay. But that's the big thing we're doing.
Fair enough. Where in America are you going, Liam?
I am going to San Jose, the home
I don't know America
of
very
Silicon Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So last time I was there, I drove past the big Netflix head offices.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool.
I was jealous. I wish I was having some work there, to be honest.
Yeah. All the places in Silicon Valley look cool as shit.
Yeah, exactly. And, if Netflix wanted to sponsor us, because I feel like we've given them a fair bit of promotion over the weeks of doing this, haven't we?
I don't think we have.
Attack on Titan was a Netflix job.
If you buy coverage, we just mention them once in the episode. You go, it's available on Netflix. We don't push Netflix.
Well, I think Netflix is a brilliant platform.
I'm not going to say that until they sponsor us.
Oh, good point. We got to hide that until we get the
other streaming platforms are available.
Yeah, try Hulu.
Can we get Hulu in England?
I don't know. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Instant Video.
Yeah. So here's something that I think's a bit bullshit.
Go on.
Okay, just in general, I think the TV license bullshit.
Okay.
So what else have you been up to this week?
No, what are you saying?
I just think TV licenses are an archaic form of, licensing.
Okay. Because
personally, right, I would be 100% happy to not pay for a TV license and not have access to BBC content.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I just wanted to see whether that was your reasoning.
Yeah, I think so. For any listeners that aren't sure what we're talking about, maybe you're not based in the UK, it's okay. A TV license, if you have a telly in your property, you need to have a TV license. Now, here's the thing. The TV license is completely owned by the BBC, and all they really provide is 2 channels, essentially, and iPlayer.
Yeah.
So, even if you never wanted to watch the BBC, ever, and I don't blame you, their content of late is not impressive.
Oh, that's not fair. Sherlock's really good.
Sherlock is decent, and Doctor Who has its moments. Okay, don't get me wrong. But the TV license is, I think, something like 75 quid. Now, if I just wanted to watch Sherlock and Doctor Who, I could buy a complete Blu-ray box set of the entire season for both those shows and still save money.
Okay, so I'll play devil's advocate.
Okay.
In this, because I agree with you on the whole TV license issue.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have it. But I guess the logic behind it, and what they would say if you would say, oh, I could just buy a box set, is that box set, you can't watch that live. You're not going to get that until however long after the series is played.
Yep. The other thing, right?
But then just don't get a TV license.
Here's the other thing.
Take out all your aerials and stuff.
But I still want to watch other TV channels, just not BBC.
Okay.
I need to watch ITV2 for my Ibiza Weekender.
Oh, of course.
Here's the thing, right? I would be perfectly happy with not paying a TV licence and the BBC being like every other channel and having advertisements.
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly, I just don't get how, as a country, we've all gone, yep, that's fine. Because I feel like it's the sort of thing that one person not doing it isn't going to change the course of things. So maybe as a podcast, we need to get a group behind us.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to change it, Liam.
Not yet, but maybe like in the future, that's something we could, petition.
No, because I feel like there are people that want that, not like who agree with us, who probably have bigger platforms.
Yeah, we need to get those involved.
No, what I'm saying...
Like David Beckham.
I feel like you're missing what I'm saying. I don't think David Beckham cares.
No, that's true.
But what I'm saying, Liam, is that those people are probably already trying to change it and failing.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Probably because the BBC don't want to change it, and probably because the government are on side with them.
So what else have you been up to this week, Jack?
I haven't been up to much, mate. I went out on the weekend.
Oh, well, that's doing something. Where did you go?
Starbucks in North Cheam.
Never heard of it.
It's a place.
Okay, what's there? Like, sell it to me.
There's a Starbucks.
Okay.
The reason we go there is, as kids, that was sort of... that's where... So I was out with Tom and Dan, who regular listeners to the show will know are my friends. Not my only friends, but some of my friends.
Pretty much.
And they both used to live in that area. And so I was quite happy to travel to them on a Sunday. We used to go to Starbucks every Sunday and hang out. And for some reason, we've all moved away. No one lives there anymore. But for some reason, that's still where we go to get Starbucks.
How long does it take you to get there?
It takes me about an hour.
That's
minutes
ridiculous.
I have to travel that distance to get to anyone.
You live in London.
Yeah, okay. So what does that fucking mean, Liam? That doesn't mean anything. None of my friends live in London.
Make them travel to you.
No, because you can't make people travel if you're the only person.
Yeah, you can.
No, that you could. You would. Reasonable people and friends wouldn't.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't. I don't, because it's a douchebag move. If I'm the only one that lives somewhere way out of the way, why should everyone else have to travel to meet me?
You alternate, so sometimes you travel to meet them.
No, but that doesn't work, because they're the majority. The majority of my friends live in that area.
Why don't you live in that area?
I'm gonna be. Soon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going back there.
When's that?
September-ish.
Oh, that's exciting.
Well, no, I'll be living with my parents again, so...
Oh. So let's talk about that then, shall we?
Okay.
How do you feel that transition is going to be, going from, being an independent woman to then kind of being under someone else's rules?
I won't particularly... I'm not going to be under their rules, particularly.
Well, their house,
like,
their
define
rules.
but define what you mean by rules. Like, what do you think my parents are going to do? Do you think they're going to give me a curfew?
No, I think they might want you to keep your room tidy.
I'm fine with that.
What's your room currently like, Jack?
The room that they aren't telling me to keep tidy.
Yep.
It's not tidy.
Mm.
How will the one be when I'm living with my parents who'll be reasonable enough to let me live in my old room? It'll be tidier.
Okay, so what about toilet?
What about toilet?
Well, at the moment you have, your own one, right?
Yeah, sort of.
So you can, do whatever you want in there, essentially, yeah?
Yeah.
When you move back home, what's that situation going to be?
I'll have a shared toilet.
Who will you be sharing with?
My parents and my sister.
Right, so, now, let's say, let me give you a hypothetics, right? It's a lazy Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
The sun is sort of wafting through the windows.
I don't think you're aware of how light works, but sure.
Outside, flies are idly buzzing. Let's say it's about 4 p.m, so the sun is sort of, it's starting to droop in the sky. Suddenly, what's that? Jack has a little itch. He has a little scratch. Oh, he liked that. He liked that a lot. That scratch becomes more vigorous. Next thing we know, Jack's wrestling a massive beast in his underwears. What you do?
I'll just go and fucking wank. It's a fucking toilet, Liam. I don't know if you know how toilets work, but they have locks so that people can't just storm into it.
Right, but what if someone else is doing a poopy?
Then I'll just wait. Jesus Christ, what are you, an animal?
But then you go in there.
You can't fucking wait.
But then you go in there. Oh, that smell.
Yeah, that's part of the waiting, Liam. You just wait until it's cleared.
Okay. So what
are you? What did you used to do at your mum's house?
Oh, I just wanked really late at night when everyone was in bed.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what else do you think is going to be different about moving back home? Because I'll be honest, I was contemplating it about a year or so ago to try and save money.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, but the thought of not doing what I want when I want put me right off.
But I don't see. That's what I don't understand, because my parents won't stop me doing what I want. I don't know what you mean by what you want. Because
So, for
my
example,
parents aren't going to care. If I say to my parents, hey, I'm going out to the cinema, they're not going to be like, no.
No, I get that, but for example, right, and I guess where it differs for you and me is, like, I live in a house alone at the moment, whereas you still have flatmates, so you have to be relatively considerate, whereas...
Right, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just have to be kind of considerate of my neighbours, so I can't be like, I don't know, blowing up airbeds at 5 a.m, or playing music loudly, like, late in the night, which I don't do anyway, I'm not a big music person, but movies, that's different. So I guess for you, you do have that consideration, whereas for me, like, the thought of having to move back, suddenly it's like, well, if I just want to sit in my pants all day and watch a movie, I don't have to, like, people floating around getting in my way trying to get on with their lives, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I have my own bedroom at my parents'.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So if I want to do anything, I can just do anything in there. My mum the other week, when I went back to visit them, told me that I was hilarious. And I don't think she's ever said that to me before, and I don't think I was being particularly funny when she said it.
That's just going to go to your head. What annoys me is that you seem to have a very nice family, whereas my family never say anything nice like that.
Your family are nice. They're just, your mum knows that if she says anything nice to you, it's the same reason I'm mean to you.
No.
If we're nice to you, you'll just immediately, it'll go to your head.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
I am actually very humble.
When are you humble?
I don't know. Give me an example.
How's your D&D group, Liam?
It's pretty chill.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're trying so hard to be humble. You literally told me you were the Archbishop of Banterbury.
Yeah, I was.
For this podcast.
Yeah, but that's
not a humble thing to say.
Well, I mean, when it's true, you can't help it, can you?
See, this is what I mean. I don't think you understand what something going to your head means. It's not that it's not true, but it is still going to your head.
Well, like, put it this way. My mum's never said to me, oh, Liam, you're hilarious. She's been like, oh, Liam, shut up, you're weird.
Has she?
Yeah.
She actually told you to shut up because you're weird?
I think this is the issue, right?
That's great.
I think my parents, my mum's other half particularly, strives to be normal. And that just goes against everything that I believe in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when you try to be normal, you're kind of conforming to what other people expect of you. And then you're kind of just lying to yourself because you're not doing what you would want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think everyone should just embrace their inner weird and just, like, flaunt it.
It's not even a case of embracing your inner weird. It's just do what you enjoy.
Do what you want when you want,
no,
as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else.
Yes.
That, I think, is a really good motto to live by.
Yes.
And I came up with that.
No, that's a thing people say.
I said it.
You did just say it. It is also a thing people say.
But you could quote that and then put Liam Underwood 2016 next to it.
Oh, you could. And people would say, oh, that's weird because that's not a Liam quote. That's a...
I mean, I don't think they could attribute it to anyone else.
Probably not, like, exact wording.
No. So, you know. Did you do anything else this weekend?
Edited a podcast.
Hey! And people can listen to that. They probably already have, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it sounds like you've had a really fun week.
What did you do?
Worked a lot, to be honest.
Yeah?
Worked some long hours. I did a 12-hour working day, so, you know.
That's quite impressive, Liam.
Yep. And then on the weekend, I ordered Indian from a place I've never ordered Indian from before.
How did that go?
It was actually surprisingly yummy. So, Kat, my other half, she's not a huge fan of Indian food.
Okay.
And even she was, like, massively impressed by it.
Why? What did they do differently?
I couldn't. I like Indian anyway, so I couldn't tell
same.
you. I honestly, I've stopped trying to figure out where it. But she was happy, you know, and that's good for me. But it was good food, you know. So they did some weird stuff, like they did ostrich tikka for starter, which I had a bit of, and you know, it was fine. I wouldn't order it again, but I didn't like. It wasn't icky or anything. I enjoyed it. But I also ordered chicken tikka, I think.
So you went for 2 tikkas?
No, I had tandoori chicken. It was pretty banging, to be honest. So I had 2 starters, and then I had a lamb rogan for my main.
Okay.
It was very yummy. They gave us like 6 poppadoms. It was really good. I had a really good time.
That's fair enough.
It was a takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really good. And then Saturday, you'll never guess what I did on Saturday.
Watched movies?
You're close.
Watched a single movie.
Yeah? Come on.
Yeah.
Where do you think I watched it?
At the cinema.
Hey! Jack, you know what that means it's time for, don't you?
Liam went to the cinema and he saw this film and now he's going to give us a spoiler-free review.
How do you still not know the title of this segment?
It's my favourite part of the show.
Exactly, so how do you not know the title? Liam went to the cinema and this is his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema.
Yeah, I got that 100%.
Well, I think when you listen back, when you're editing it, you'll realise that you really didn't.
We'll see.
So, I saw a little movie called Everybody Wants Some.
What's that film about, Liam?
It's about everybody wanting some.
What do they want?
Pussy!
Really?
Yeah, so, it's directed by Richard Linklater. Now, you might know him from Boyhood, which had a lot of Oscar buzz a couple of years ago.
No.
You might know him from the Before trilogy, which is like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, which are just one of the best trilogies ever, and I've recommended to you countless times.
Yep, but I haven't watched them.
Okay. You might know him from School of Rock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, he also directed Dazed and Confused, which I don't know if you've seen, but it's super good.
I haven't.
It's super good. This is Everybody Wants Some is described as like a spiritual sibling, if you will, to Dazed and Confused, where it essentially takes place over a weekend before a college semester starts in a Texas university.
Okay.
So it's that awkward in between time, right, where you've just finished high school, but like college hasn't quite started yet. And I think, especially in America, it's a time where a lot of people try to reinvent themselves.
All right.
Because there's that idea, like, you know, whoever you were in high school. These aren't themes addressed in the movie, by the way. These are just things that other movies have taught me. Whoever you are in high school, when you go to college, you can leave that behind and become
I've never understood
who
that.
you want to be. It's because in America, bear in mind, right, that each state is essentially like its own country in a way. Like each state is very distinctive.
Yeah, but why would that make you change who you are more than here in England?
Because, right, in England, you might go up to Manchester or somewhere, yeah, and no one would know you.
Yeah.
But it's still like boring, grey, miserable weather. Let's say, for example,
what are you talking about?
Right,
that's not
let's
a reason that people they don't change more in America because it's sunny.
Yeah, here's the thing.
You're
right?
Sometimes, Liam,
listen,
your points are just
listen
insane.
to this. Would you say they're nonsensical? Because I think you might be getting me confused with you.
You literally just said the weather makes people change who they are.
Are you going to let me explain myself?
Go on.
Let's say you grow up in California, okay? You go to a Californian high school. You got the Valley Girls, oh my god, all that sort of stuff. That's my American accent. And
so good.
I don't know, you know, you got the surfers, and there's the sun and the sea and the sex and all that. And let's say you don't like that. You decide I'm going to go New York. It's a bit hustle and bustle with the big city. The weather's not quite so good. You just be a completely different person.
Liam.
Yep.
What you're saying
Yes.
is that you believe,
Yes.
just correct me when I get wrong.
Okay.
I might have misunderstood you.
Probably.
You're saying
Yeah.
that the weather in California,
Yeah, which is really nice.
yep, super
Yeah.
nice, lots of surfers, lots of valley
Sun.
girls, yep, all of that. You're saying that the kids in high school that go there are all surfers.
No, not all of them. Some.
You're saying that a lot of kids that go there are California kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that you think that they then go to like Montana
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, it's so cold here,
Yeah.
I'm going to become a nerd.
That could happen. No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying.
okay,
I'm
so
not saying.
whoa,
Listen, whoa. Let's all just chill our tits. Here's the thing. You said to let you know when you went off track. This is where you went off track.
Cool.
I'm not saying a Californian surfer is going to go to New York. I'm saying that you're in that environment, surrounded by them, but maybe you're like, oh, I don't necessarily fit in here. Then you go to Montana, and you're like, shit, this is where I fit in. I'm going to be a cowboy. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Okay. Well, you know.
Tell me when I go wrong.
Yeah. All right.
So your entire premise for this argument is that that's what it's like in America,
Yeah.
and that England has miserable weather.
Yeah. So anywhere you go, it's basically the same. It's just
Right,
chavs
got
and
you.
people being
so you're
miserable.
saying that you think the reason kids change, like, who they are and who people perceive them to be,
Yeah.
is based on the area they live in, right?
Yeah, like gangs.
As opposed to
Crips and
actual
Bloods.
thing that you're talking about.
Crips and Bloods.
The actual thing you're talking about.
Crips and Bloods.
Which is the whole premise of those things is it's usually in those films like a nerdy kid who's like, I'm fed up of being the nerd and everyone picking on me, so I'm going to act like I'm someone else.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're actually referring to. It's got shit all to do with the weather. For some reason you fixated on the weather point and made that a thing, and then for some reason you decided that people in England don't do that.
Have you seen Grease?
Oh, good lord. Yes, I've seen Grease.
What's the moral of that film?
The moral of that film is change who you are.
Yes.
No one's good until they grease their hair.
That is another good moral from that movie.
I just don't understand, because there definitely are people in England that do go somewhere else and are like, oh shit, I was a dickhead. I'm not going to be a dickhead anymore.
Sometimes.
But your whole argument was that doesn't happen.
I feel
All
like...
I was asking, Liam, is I don't get it. Cause
okay, here's let me explain better. I feel like in England, places aren't quite as distinctively different as they are in America. Like, there is such a world of difference.
I just don't understand why you think that would make you change who you are. I don't think that's the reason anyone changes who they are. I think they do it because they're like, I was a lonely like nerd in high school.
Yeah, do you think... Right, here's the question.
Are you about to say, do I think that there are lonely nerds in
England?
No,
No.
I do.
Do you think that it's them changing who they are, or them moving to somewhere where they're more accepted for who they are? And let me give you an example. You grow up in Texas. They love their football and barbecues.
Yep.
But let's say you don't. Let's say you're a vegan and you like ballet, right? Suddenly, you're off to Juilliard, the School of Performing Arts.
Jesus, your worldview is so fucked, mate.
What do you mean?
It's just been ruined. You need to watch less films, and I hate to say that to you.
Have you seen High School Musical?
I'm so worried for your mental stability.
Have you seen High School Musical?
Your whole thing is just... I don't understand, Liam. The whole of America isn't divided into... Like, everyone in Texas, you don't go to Texas and go, oh man, I'm in Texas. I guess I love football and barbecues now. And I don't think if someone went, you know what, I'm actually not that big a fan of barbecues, I don't think their parents would be like, get out. Go north. Go where it's cold. You don't belong here.
Well, here's why I wouldn't know this.
You insane freak.
Here's why I wouldn't know this. I've never lived in America, and I would love to change that.
Humans are the same, Liam. We're all
oh no, they're not. You go to a tribe in like Africa that's never seen like other people before. You have fun with them, Jack, and you tell me after that experience.
What are you talking about?
You tell me after that experience. You tell me after that experience how humans are the same.
Right. They are humans.
Are they not humans?
Basic humans are the same, Liam.
Right,
all the like basic needs are the same. So if I went to a tribe in Africa,
you'd get on with them.
The real logical point to what you're saying would be, would I find a kid there who was like, you know what, I don't fit in? And I bet that there are children in some of those African tribes that are like, I don't really fit in with this. I'm not a huge hunting fan. I really like gathering as opposed to hunting deer.
Anyway, I feel like we're getting off point, right? So my week was fine.
What did you think of the film? You were doing a film review.
Yeah. So Everybody Wants Some, right? Is about that time in college between high school and starting the actual college semester. And so in the movie, it's what I thought was interesting is it follows like a group of jocks who normally in these type of movies they're kind of seen as the antagonists, like the villains, the dumb-headed the meatheads, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they're actually given like there's still a couple that would conform to that stereotype, but they're definitely a lot more layered, and there's like a lot more character going on in them, which I think is something that you don't often see in movies. I think the last time I saw that done in a kind of really eye-opening and impressive way was High School Musical, where.
Oh, please don't talk about High School Musical.
Well, no, you have Troy Bolton, who's like the basketball jock, but then he actually gets into song and dance, and one of the big themes in the first movie is not changing. There's a whole song about don't rock the status quo, and it's like, you know, you're in this clique at high school. Don't start messing that all around and joining the theatre group. Like, that's mental. But the whole movie is about how you overcome that, you see. And so that's like, you know, a really good example of that theme. I think Everybody Wants Some does an admirable job. Not quite as good as High School Musical. There was a lot less singing and dancing, but I will say, brilliant 80s soundtrack. Like, it's set in 1980, and it honestly, like, if you've seen a Richard Linklater film that isn't School of Rock, you'll know that what he's really good at is dialogue. So this is literally like a 2-hour film of just throwing out with this group of guys. And I get, like, for a few people, that won't really be their thing, and that's fine. But for me, I really like the idea of American college. I think the way they do the education out there is so much better than how we do it over here. Because, like, over here,
picking
right?
classes thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, over here, you pick a class, and that's it. Like, so I did film. Every single class I did had to relate to film somehow. Whereas over there, you get, like, majors and minors. So you could major in film, but you could minor in, like, politics or math or science or languages, which I think is a much more substantial way of doing education. I don't know what your stance is on that.
I don't know about it being more substantial, but it's probably a better way.
I would say incredibly so.
I think when you go to uni, because for us, uni and their college are sort of the same age, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to uni, I feel like a lot of people don't know what they want to do.
Were you like that?
What? Say again?
Were you like that when you went to uni?
I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't get the grades to do it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've always known what I wanted to do through education and have never achieved it.
What did you want to do?
I really wanted to be an astrophysicist.
I mean, bravo for dreaming big.
I don't think it's dreaming that big. I just needed to do better in A-level science.
What about math?
That as well. Like my issue was I like specific stuff. So I like when we did astronomy and astrophysics and shit in A-level classes, I always was like so invested in those classes and then hated all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I also don't get on with the traditional education system. I don't do well in it.
What do you think it is about it that you don't kind of respond favourably to?
I honestly don't know. Like, I just know there's all those different fucking ways of learning and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I went to specific, like, lessons, not lessons, but, like, after school shit about that stuff. And they talked to us about all the different types of learning. And I was just like, oh, okay, school's not the one for me. Like, or what they're doing in school isn't the way I like it.
So, can I ask, sort of quite a serious... Like, I know, you know, Nerd on Nerd, we have a lot of jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
But just to be serious, have you not considered, like, still pursuing that in your spare time? Like, trying to find, like, a private tutor or something?
No, see, I don't know what the, like, rules are on the whole thing. Like, can I go back to uni?
Yes.
Or would I... See, but that's the thing. I didn't like uni, so I wouldn't want to go back and do it.
Right, well, I mean, the question was, can you? And the answer is yes. I mean, should you?
Yeah, no.
Is a different question.
But I feel like I've decided since then, like, that was, you know, leaving A-levels.
Yeah.
And then after going to uni and stuff, I was like, what I really like doing is creating things, which is why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, but, like, with astrophysics, it's all there. Like that, you can't really create new astrophysics.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like, instead of following that, I've instead decided to do creative stuff with my free time.
Yeah.
And hopefully eventually turn that into a job.
Anyway, everybody wants some. I'd say, for me, it was a solid 4 out of 5. But I get that it's not going to be appealing to a lot of people. I think if you've seen other Richard Linklater films, particularly Dazed and Confused, Boyhood, then definitely give this a go. I've heard it described as this almost, it kind of picks up where Boyhood left off. I don't know if you know a lot about Boyhood.
I remember hearing about it, but I never watched it.
So it was filmed over, I can't remember exactly, it was like 8 years, 7, 8 or 12 years. It was in that spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And basically it was the same cast, and the director filmed them for like a little bit every year. And like, not just like filmed them like casual, like gave them a script and stuff and had a story. So you essentially see this character grow up on film.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it's a lot about his family life. So Patricia Arquette played his mother. And again, you know, you see her age over the course of like however many years they took making this film. It was just,
yeah.
It was one of those movies where it got a lot of buzz because of how much time and effort went into actually making it. I have to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds quite interesting.
It really is. It's a really good idea. Now, I don't know how entertaining the final result is. Like I said, like, this sort of thing's right up my street, so I enjoyed it. But I get that it wouldn't have a lot of mass appeal necessarily.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where everybody wants some. That's the trouble it's going to kind of face, in that it's going to appeal to people that really dig like Richard Linklater's other stuff, but a general wide audience maybe less so.
Fair enough.
But I for you, Jack, I would 100% recommend watching before sunrise. And then yesterday, which was Sunday, for everyone keeping track, went to the comic book shop, met up with my D&D gang, took Kat along, and we just played some board games for a couple of hours.
I'm still not happy that you're calling them a gang.
I don't know what you'd prefer I called them.
Group!
Squad?
Group.
Crew?
No.
Troop?
You could call them your party.
Could I call them my troop?
No. You can call them your party if you really want.
Alright, my D&D party. But that sounds like, if I say, I hung out at my D&D party, right? That, to me, doesn't sound like a group of people. That sounds like, like a birthday party where there's, like, celebration going on.
Right.
I think you need a better word, Jack. Until you find a better word...
I've told you the correct word multiple times.
Which is?
Group.
No, we need a better word than that.
That's the word. It's not a gang, because you're not a fucking gang.
How do you know it's not a gang? We could be, like, tagging up streets.
You couldn't even say that without laughing.
Could you imagine me trying to tag something?
It would be ridiculous. You try and run and be like, Mani.
I'd get paint on my fingers. I wouldn't like that. Anyway, I've also been playing a heck of a lot of Uncharted 4.
Yes, how's that going?
Really enjoying it, Jack. I would actually say, and I'm going to make a real fucking bold statement here, so prepare yourself.
Okay.
Best game I played on the PlayStation 4.
Ever?
Yep.
That is quite the statement.
I know. Name some other games that you think are the best on the PlayStation 4.
The Witcher.
Nah, this is better.
I really liked Batman Arkham Knight.
This is better.
Grand Theft Auto.
This is better.
Than Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
The Last of Us.
It's fucking close. It's real damn close. This is better.
Finish that game. Fair enough.
See, this bothers me, right? As someone who would say, like, I would describe myself as a casual gamer, okay?
Yeah.
You, I think, would describe yourself as a hardcore gamer.
Yes.
How the fuck have you not played The Last of Us to completion?
Because I played it once.
Yeah.
And I got quite far in it.
Yeah.
And then I had to restart on the PS4 and I had to play through the same stuff.
Yeah.
And when you play through the same stuff in that game, you realise that there's not a lot of depth to what you're actually doing. Like, the story's great, but the actual game itself isn't hugely, it's not like every time you play it, you get a totally different experience.
I played through it twice in relatively quick succession and enjoyed it both times.
Yeah, but you and me are different gamers, not just on the like casual hardcore thing. You're obsessed with completing stuff, and I like I've said to you before, I can't go back and play Mass Effect again because when I do, I'm like, that story's done. So for me, playing that same bit of Last of Us again, I was like, oh, that bit was a slog to me.
Honestly, the year I played that, right, and you know how many movies I watch, yeah?
Yeah.
The year I played The Last of Us, hands down, that was the best story in any medium I experienced that year.
I agree. I was in tears in that opening sequence of Last of Us. Both times I was in tears.
Yeah. It's super
But
good.
like I need to set time apart to do it.
You really
and
do.
I've got to get past where I am.
Yeah, I think, I wouldn't say start over again, but I think as soon as you start hitting new content, I think it will suck you in.
That's what I need. I need to just sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and power through to where I was.
Yeah. And I honestly would say it's super worth doing.
Oh no, I know.
But like,
it's just putting aside that time where I could be doing another game that I haven't done that.
Well, the other thing that you should be doing is the Uncharted trilogy, because
I'm gonna wait until the new game's gone down. Like, I'm not desperate enough to play it.
No, you're right. When we last spoke about this,
I'm sorry, Liam. I don't have a job that pays ridiculous amounts of money.
No. Well, back up. When we last spoke about this, right? Your plan was you're going to wait for Uncharted 4 to come out. Then once that's out, you're like, the original trilogy will go down in price, so I'll pick it up then.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that, yeah.
Yeah, then you play through the original trilogy, and by the time you complete that, then Uncharted 4 will have come down in price.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Definitely do that. What I would say is, Uncharted 4 is a much more rich experience because of playing the first 3. So,
yeah, I 100% wouldn't play it without playing the others.
Yeah, that's very smart. But yeah, brilliant. It is really good. Now, as someone who is a hardcore gamer, I am curious now if you would also think it is one of, if not one of the best games on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's an interesting... I guess I probably would. I've only heard good things about it.
But again, I mean, bear in mind, I really like exploring and stuff in games. And, I mean, that's what this game is made for, really, isn't it?
No. See, the difference between me and you and exploring in games isn't that I don't like exploring. For some reason, you've fixated on this point that I don't like exploring, which isn't what it is at all. I don't care about completion. Like, for me, if I finish the story of a game and then I look at my little trophy list and they're like, oh, you could have found all the secret artifacts, I'm not like, oh my god, I have to go back and find them all. I'm like, cool, that's fine. I'm sure other people enjoy that, ergo you, but I don't need it.
Well, I can only aspire to one day be on such a lofty plane of existence as you, where I can play a game and not feel the need to fully complete it. Culture swap!
Swap my culture.
So, before we get cracking with Turbo Kid, Jack, what are we going to do next time?
So next time, we will be doing the graphic novel Southern Bastards.
So this is another one of my recommendations.
Yeah.
Because I recommended Turbo Kid as well. So I'm really curious what you're going to think of this. And any listeners that are on the fence about reading this, I know we've definitely got one person out there who's considering it. This might be your reason to get it and read it and let us know what you thought.
Are there multiple volumes?
So far, there's 2 volumes released, with a 3rd one coming in the summer.
Cool, so yeah, it's volume 1 that we'll be doing then.
Yes. Now, I will say, if you like volume 1, definitely pick up volume 2. So, Southern Bastards, volume 1, next time. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But first, Turbo Kid. So, what I think we should do, if it's okay with you, Jack, is a little spoiler-free what we thought, and then we'll go into the spoilers. Because if there's anyone that hasn't seen it, I would implore them to watch it.
Yeah, alright, that makes sense.
Okay, so a brief plot synopsis. It takes place in the future, in the year 1997.
Yeah.
And it's basically, I think, a nuclear war has kind of ravaged the land, and it's now a wasteland, and the currency is water. And the story is basically about a kid trying to survive in that. And he's not like, when I say kid, I don't mean like child, he's like a teenager. But it's him trying to survive in this like lawless wasteland. Would you agree with that description?
Yeah.
What do you think? Spoiler free.
I really liked it. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
It's just over the top and great.
Yeah, I think like, why I recommended it to you is because I thought this would be right up your street.
Yeah, it is.
Good. I equally, obviously, really liked it, or I wouldn't have recommended it. So, there's that. We did get some correspondence about this movie.
Go on.
Joanna has messaged us saying, okay, thoughts on Turbo Kid. In very few words, it's a Mad Max for kids. But instead of the steampunk stuff, you get 80s kids stuff. End of message.
Yep.
Now, the only thing I would say is I don't think this is necessarily a movie for kids.
No, I don't think it is. It's very gory.
Yes, beautifully so.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not, the thing is, it's not realistic gore. Like, it is very over-the-top gore. Yeah. But it's still not suitable for children.
No.
So, you would recommend it?
I would 100% recommend this to our listeners.
If someone is listening, right, and they haven't watched the movie yet, and we're about to go into spoiler territory, what would you say to that person?
I'd say it's your choice. We are about to spoil the film, but don't worry too much about it if you don't want to. I'm just glad you listened.
I would say, go watch the movie, then come back, listen to the rest.
Spoiler time! So, Liam.
Yeah.
This movie,
Jack. This fucking movie.
Is, oh my god. I had such a good time watching it.
It really is. It's one of those films that is just, you find yourself just smiling. Like, so, did you watch it on Netflix, yeah?
Yeah.
I have the Blu-ray, okay? And from the moment you put the disc in, it makes the, like, when it's loading up, it makes the noises of like a old VHS cassette player.
Oh, really?
With the tape going in, so it makes all those noises, and then like it has the static come up, and then it has like the scanning, and then like real like low quality VHS quality images come up.
Yeah.
And it has like in that like like that real chunky like text that you used to get when you push play on an old school remote.
Yes.
It has that as like the play scene select extras sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it really does like wonderfully harken back to that like 80s era of technology.
Yeah, I think the whole film is like because the point of it seems to be it's like a love letter to that era and movies like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, I love the fact that it opens with him doing a sick stunt on his bike.
Yeah, and I
He just jumps over a ramp, and I was like, this movie's great. I'm invested in it.
It was that quick for you to get invested.
Yeah, seriously. The moment he did that jump, I was like, okay, I now sort of know what this film's doing. Because I wasn't sure. Because going into it, I didn't know that it was like a deliberately over the top, like parody-ish sort of film.
Like, I mean, I would hesitate to say parody.
It's not a parody. It's not a parody. But it's in the same vein as like what film am I thinking of? The fact that it's all set, because it's tongue in cheek. It's not a parody, but it's tongue in cheek. Because it's the whole like
it's
the
aware.
Fact that it's based in the future of 1997.
Yeah. Like it's. I wouldn't say it's self-aware, but it is aware that it is referencing other movies. Should we say?
Yeah, but it is also, it's very deliberately like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah. So what did you know about this movie before you went in?
Absolutely shit all. I knew there was a kid in it on a bike.
Now, do you think it's probably better to go into a movie like this knowing that little, or would you like to know a little more?
I don't think it would really matter with this film.
It's just such a fun time, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't think the film, it's not like an in-depth, thought-provoking film.
Like, no, although there are moments. There are moments.
Well, not really.
Okay.
Go on. What moment made you do you think was thought provoking?
Well, this is going to get real into spoiler territory here.
Yeah, we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, I know, but like, I mean, spoilers for a little bit later on in the movie.
Stop telling people about spoilers. Just talk about the film.
This is making me think: could I love a robot?
Well, yeah, the answer is yes, obviously.
Because I think both myself and you, maybe to a lesser extent than me, had a little thing for one of the robots in this movie.
How was mine a lesser thing than you? The moment Apple came on screen, I messaged you and said, I think I'm in love with her.
Because I've been in love with her since I first saw the movie last year, Jack.
Yeah, which is the same. So I'm the same since I first saw the film.
No, I've loved her longer.
That's not how it works. But yeah, no, Apple's just like a great character.
What do you think is what makes it? Because here's the thing, right? I think on paper, that character kind of potentially couldn't have worked, but the actress Laurence LaBeouf, no relation to Shia LaBeouf, sadly, she definitely does something with that role that just instantly makes her like incredibly likable. And I think maybe in someone else's hands it could have been a very different story. And I do think
you say that, but that I mean that would apply to any role in a film, right?
Yeah, no, but I think this one particularly.
But why? Okay, why?
Because I think, right, so the role that she's playing is essentially a friendship robot, okay? And when you first meet her, like, she's essentially talking to a dead person.
Yeah, that whole bit, I genuinely thought there was going to be a moment where she'd just turn around and go insane.
Yeah. So, you know, to be able to kind of walk that line between being just immensely adorable and also possibly psychotic, like without kind of tipping too much into one or the other camp, I'd say was quite an impressive acting feat. Like, I think someone else could have maybe played it a little bit wrong, and you'd have been like, "Oh, they're just psychotic," or it just like that wouldn't have worked quite so well.
I don't know how much of that to like. I genuinely don't know how much of that to apply to an actor or actress.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know how much the director has to say with that. Like, in my head, a director would go, if someone was playing it and not doing that, like not walking the line and was too psychotic, is that not what the director's for? He goes, no, you're doing it wrong. It's this robot isn't a psychopath.
Potentially.
Like,
I mean,
I'm not trying to.
Bearing in mind, it's a collaboration, so it's also going to come down to, you could equally say, oh, it was the scriptwriter's fault. Yeah,
no, 100%. But that's what I'm not, and I'm not dissing the actress because she was really good.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to really focus on, is how good she was.
I'm slightly worried that you're just a little bit too obsessed with her, which is why you're maybe.
No, I just think she is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Well, I don't know why you're arguing then.
I'm just saying I don't know whether I'm just saying that you can't give her all the credit. I'm not dissing her.
I'm going to give her a lot of the credit.
Okay, fine.
So, she is a friendship robot, and she basically meets our hero, who is just he's ever called the Kid in the movie. Or is his name Jesse?
No, he's just called the Kid, isn't he?
Probably.
He's credited as the Kid.
Yeah, okay. So you got the Kid, who's played by Munro Chambers, and again, he's good. Like, he has that kind of like just like I hope the whole cast just have like a real innate likability apart from the villains where you're not supposed to, and they are almost like cartoonish, the villains.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think everyone's cartoonish in it because they basically get like, it's almost like they're given a trait.
Yeah.
So the kid is like childish, not in a, not terribly, but sort of that kind of childish attitude, naivety almost.
Wide-eyed wonder.
Sure. You've got Apple, who's friendly. You've got the bad guys who are evil.
Yeah, you got Frederick.
Which one's Frederick?
The guy.
The cool arm wrestler.
Yeah.
Who's, I think his name is, do they call him Frederick the arm wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his thing is just, he's the badass.
Yeah.
Which he is for the whole film, and it's great.
No, he really is. So let's talk about him for a moment then. Because he does just sort of like wander in, and instantly you're just like, because it's a lot of kind of, the focus is on the kid for a large part of the beginning of the movie, and then suddenly you got this arm wrestler who just sort of comes into the film, and again you have no idea like where his allegiances lie. Like, he's not an out and out bad guy, but equally he has quite a memorable running with the kid like very early on.
Yes. Where
he talks to the kid about a manly bubble.
Yes, tells him he's not allowed to stand within arm's length of him.
Yes, which they kind of call back to that a couple of times later on, which I think it's one of the stronger running jokes in the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I just think Frederick was just incredible. This is my issue, is I think I like this film too much.
What do you mean by that?
Like everything, every part of it, I'm just like, yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, it's going to be super hard to be critical about this movie.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's 90 minutes, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. It kind of does what it needs to do. It gets the job done, and then it's onwards. I think the only criticism I'd have is I think it's a shame that Apple died at the end.
No, see, I think that was good because I think the whole of Apple's like, because she dies 3 times in the movie, possibly 4, including her actual death. I can't remember, but I think the whole thing with her dying at the end, like, that was emotional and it was good, and it got the whole like, when you die you become a star thing. Yeah,
that was nice.
I think it would have been worse if she hadn't died.
Really?
Yeah, because they did it so much that like it needed to happen. Like, it would have been, I think it would have been a worse film if she kept dying and then at the end died and came back again and was like, everything's fine.
What if like her and the kid just ride off into the sunset and it's like, coming soon, Turbo Kid 2? Because I personally,
I wouldn't have been excited about a sequel, I don't think.
Here's the thing. At the moment, I wouldn't be. If Apple was in the sequel, I'd be like 10 times more excited.
Yeah, I don't know, buddy.
Like, for me, she really was the star of the show. Like, everything else was good, but she was excellent.
Yeah. I feel like my difference between them all, I think they were all excellent.
Yeah.
I don't think the story would have been as good an ending if she'd lived.
Okay.
I don't know. It wouldn't have had the same impact, the whole thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So yeah, any other thoughts on the film?
We should probably talk about the gore that's in it.
Yes.
That is one of the best things about that movie.
It is super gory.
It's just so over the top. There's literally, any time anyone gets cut in any way in the film, just gallons of blood spray out everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a scene where a man... We should probably talk about this scene because I feel like it defines the film's gore and violence.
Okay.
There is a scene where a man is cut in half and his upper torso lands on one of his friends' heads.
Yeah.
His lower torso lands on a different friend's heads.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, the guy that's got the upper torso on him is also cut in half. Oh, no, it's the guy with the legs is also cut in half.
Yeah.
He then lands on top of the guy that's got the body on top of him already, and you get a stack of a man with a body, then another half of a body, and then legs on top of that. Yeah. And it is just so over the top and ridiculous, and it is great.
It is just fantastic. Like, this movie does not take itself seriously at all.
No, not at all.
And I think even the cast, like, they're all very aware that they're like it looked like this was a fun film for them to make.
Oh yeah, it definitely comes across that way.
Yeah, like they all look like it doesn't look like any of them are taking it too seriously either.
No.
What did you think of the villains? So we had 2 kind of real distinctive villains. You got Michael Ironside, who plays Zeus.
Yeah.
And that's the film's jaw, if you will. Like, that's the big name that the film like slaps all over the poster.
And he did it really well.
Yeah, like you might know him from Top Gun or Total Recall or Starship Troopers or so many other movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you've got another, like his right-hand man, if you will.
Yeah, who never speaks in the film.
No, he's credited as Skeletron.
Yes, I saw that when I was looking stuff up yesterday.
Yeah, because he has like a metal skull helmet.
Yeah, I thought, for the whole film, I thought he was going to turn out to also be a robot. So that ending where he's not the robot was a big surprise.
What about the ending where Zeus is a robot?
Yeah, exactly, that's the thing though. So I was thinking the other guy was going to be a robot.
Yeah.
Then it turns out, no, that guy's normal, but Zeus is a robot.
Yes.
That's also a good bit when they, because when he first discovers that Apple is a robot, the kid is like, oh, can you shoot lasers out of your face?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm a friendship robot, we don't do that. And then it turns out that Zeus is exactly the kind of robot that fires laser beams out of his face.
Yeah, and I think the description is he says he's something like a robot that's brought in for corporations to help streamline their efficiency.
Yes, yeah.
Which totally makes sense how, in a wasteland environment, he would rise to the top.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't explain why he has a laser beam face.
No. No, I don't see how that's ever useful in his career.
No, exactly. Oh, it's just great.
It really is. And again, it's the sort of movie that I think another reason why it's hard to be too like nitpicky about it and like pull it apart is because it doesn't take itself seriously. So it's really hard to be like, oh, this is a terrible movie because a corporate robot has lasers coming out of his face. It's like it just so doesn't matter. Yeah,
exactly. So yesterday, after I finished watching it,
yeah,
I went on IMDb because I was looking up. I can't remember what I was looking. I was looking something specific up. I think I was looking up Skeletron.
Are you sure you weren't just looking up Lawrence LaBeouf?
No, I think I was looking up Skeletron because I wanted to know what that thing's name was.
Okay.
And I would like the rating on IMDb is like 6.5, which is
6.7 as of recording.
That's still ridiculous.
Yes, it should at least be an 8, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But then I scrolled down to the the forum-y sort of section on IMDb.
Oh yes.
And someone had I can only assume it's a troll post because people in there were like, this seems like you're a troll and you're just trying to get a rise.
Yeah.
But this guy was like, it's ridiculous that they're all riding bikes. Why are they not riding dirt bikes? Which is a very troll thing to say.
Yeah.
But I was like, why? Who watched this movie and then was like, this is stupid. Why are they on bikes?
Yeah, the bikes are what's wrong with this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's just part of it. The fact that you get ridiculous scenes like a high-speed pedal bike chase.
Yeah, which is I'll be honest, that's not the first time I've seen that used for comedy effect.
Yeah, no, it's a great comedic thing.
Yeah, and as you would expect, it is all shot and filmed like it is a like high-speed, fast-action car chase.
Yeah. And it's just a bunch of guys riding on bikes that definitely seem way too small for them.
Yes, definitely. So that's. I mean, it's fair to say we both enjoyed it immensely, and we don't really have a lot of negative stuff to say about it, do we?
No.
So that's actually just kind of let's do some questions about this movie, if you will.
Okay.
Like, how long do you think you would survive in the wasteland?
Probably not that long.
Why?
I don't think I'd survive well. I'm not a good killer, I think.
But I feel like the kid isn't really a killer up until a certain point.
True. I don't know. I feel like I just wouldn't want to survive in that situation.
Okay, fair enough. And if you could get a robot that kind of was as believably realistic looking as Apple is, shall we say, would you? It's
not the way she looks. It's who she is.
Yeah, okay. So, but I mean, like,
if I met Apple in this post-apocalypse world and she seemed to be into me, then yeah, I'd definitely go for it.
Oh, I wasn't even talking like in a romantic sense.
I know you weren't. That's because you live in a very it's because you are a robot. You're a sex robot.
I am actually
from 1997.
Yeah, I am a sexy robot.
Not what I said.
That's what you meant.
No, definitely not. What about you? So, what about you? How long do you think you'd survive?
Oh, like at least a day.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like you'd meet another survivor.
Yeah.
You'd maybe talk to them for like half a day, and then they'd either abandon you somewhere
or kill me.
Or just kill you, yeah.
Yeah.
And the robot thing, we all know the answer. It's just, yes, you would. You wouldn't even care what they look like, really. If they had a slot that you could put it in, you would.
Yeah.
I know you so well.
Fair play. At the end of the day, when like most of humanity is dead, does it matter? Like, obviously, even though it's a robot, right, I will say this, you do still need to get consent.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if they're sentient, like the robots in this film.
Yeah. But once you've got the yes, then, crack on.
Oh, Liam.
What?
Nothing.
That's a really good,
It is.
moral
just
message.
So earnest.
I mean, I'll be honest, the main reason I suggested it to you is because I knew you would absolutely love Apple. Because it's almost impossible not to.
Yeah, 100%.
I think what makes that character so good is just that, unbridled enthusiasm.
Yeah, she's just super happy.
Yeah, and there's another character that I'd say you could draw similarities to in the US Office.
Is that the Ellie Kemp's character?
Yeah, Erin, the receptionist. Both just, super enthusiastic, nearly always happy, and, nearly always willing to just go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of the things that I really love about Erin in The Office is, if someone just suggests offhand doing something, ridiculous, she's way up for it. And, in a real, unironic sense as well.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I think that's quite an appealing quality.
It is, yeah.
And it's like with Apple, there's a great scene where the kid's discussing his rules for staying alive in the wasteland.
And she's just so up for every rule.
Yeah, she's like, I love rules! Oh, also, can we please just very briefly talk about the gnome stick?
The gnome stick is one of the great... It's literally just a garden gnome strapped to the end of, a 2x4. And when he gives it to her, she's just so fucking happy to have it.
And then when she actually uses it as well.
She's, lethal and terrifyingly violent.
There's a great scene where, all of our main characters find themselves in a pit versus a load of, big bads.
Yeah.
And, the kind of... So I'd say the kid is, the hero of this movie, but then Frederick is the more traditional hero, if you will. He's the guy that you would think would be the hero. He's making this plan, and he's, telling people who they need to go for and what they need to do. And then he sort of says to Apple, right, you need to go for this person, and that's it, she's off.
Yeah, doesn't he say you need to hit them as hard as you can or something?
Yeah, and
then
she's
she
gone.
Just runs, smacks the guy, and then just starts beating him to death on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, everyone else is just, watching in stunned silence.
Yeah.
She's so good.
She also impales someone on a unicorn head that's strapped to the front of her bike at one point, which is great.
And another, really memorable death scene. It's not by Apple, I think it's the kid this time.
Is it the parasol?
Yes.
It's just insane.
It's just, it's so good. This is the sort of movie that makes me feel like making movies would be fun.
Yes.
I think you can watch some movies and you don't get that, wouldn't it be fun to do that, But, this just makes the whole process look like a blast.
Yeah, 100%.
So, if you had the choice between Apple... Also, can I ask, do you think that name is because of... do you think it's a deliberate, reference to Apple products?
Yeah, I'd assume so.
When I first watched the movie, it didn't really register. And then when I watched it this time for the podcast, I kind of was a bit smarter.
Yeah, I think that's probably, definitely what it was.
Okay.
Or at least I'd imagine that's what it was.
Yeah. No, that it would make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So, let's say, hypotheticals, you and Apple are dating, and it's going well, and you take her to meet your parents, okay?
So in this universe, is it the apocalypse?
No.
Okay.
This is just tomorrow you meet Apple, right?
Right, she's a robot still?
Yep.
Okay.
You take her to meet your parents. Do you tell them she's a robot?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
What if they thought that was weird?
I'd tell them to stop being judgmental.
So, you think, if society ever got to the point where it made robots, like Apple, you think that it's okay to date them and,
Yeah, so long as they're... If you're talking about fully sentient, effectively just life, but it's a robot...
Yeah.
I don't think it's... Well, it's not okay. Sex robots, whatever, that's fine if they aren't sentient. If something's aware...
Yeah.
Then, that's different, because then I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So,
but yeah, if they ever got to the point where there were legitimate artificial intelligences that were like that, and one of them was genuinely I want to date you, and I was yeah, sure, I wouldn't be ashamed of it.
Do you think we'll ever get to that stage?
Not in our lifetime, no.
But in the future?
Yeah, probably.
Have you seen the movie Her?
No, it's on my list, and it's really high up on my list of films I need to watch.
I think, that would fit in very nicely with this conversation we're having right now.
Yeah, yeah. I know what it's about.
Yeah.
And I've been told multiple times by Dan Palmer specifically to watch it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I know.
Watch Before Sunrise first, but
I'll probably watch her first, to be honest.
That's because you're a dick.
Just because I've been told to watch that before the other ones.
Sorry, how long ago have I been saying to watch this?
Years.
Exactly. Probably since before Her even came out.
Yeah, probably.
Ugh, you're the worst.
Yep.
So, when you bring the robot home to your parents...
Yep.
And I'm assuming, like, do you think they'd be cool with it, with you dating a robot?
I mean, they'd probably be slightly confused, maybe.
Yeah.
But if the whole world had robots like it, then I don't know.
No, but this just happens tomorrow.
Right. Then, yeah, I guess they'd be surprised because they'd be like, I didn't even know robots existed.
That were this, like, advanced.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd be a little bit disappointed at the lack of children?
Probably not.
So your parents don't have any aspirations to be grandparents?
No, they probably do, but they've got 3 kids.
So are they kind of pinning their hopes on one of the other 2?
I imagine if I was like, I'm dating a robot, I can't have kids.
Yeah.
Then yeah. But I feel like that's such an outdated view anyway, the like, I need to have grandkids. I don't know parents of people our age that are doing that.
No, that's a fair point. But out of like you and your siblings, who do you think your parents would be happiest with them having children?
I don't think they'd be unhappy with any of us having kids.
They'd be livid.
I feel like the issue is you really want there to be like some interesting thing, and there's not because my parents are just reasonable people.
No, I like the idea that they're just like, Jack, please never procreate. But then to your like siblings, they're like, you guys give us 10 grandchildren.
And if that was the case, that would be hilarious. But
that
unfortunately,
really would be.
Liam, it's not.
That is a shame.
In your family, does your mum want you to have kids?
She thinks that's the worst idea ever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is what I mean. Your family is so much nicer than my family.
I think your mum's nice. She's just being nice to humanity as a whole.
But not to me as
She's
an
trying
individual.
to save us from the spawn of Liam. Like, you know Omen, the movie Omen?
Yeah.
Or The Omen?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I imagine your kids would be.
Like Damien?
Yeah.
That would make me the devil.
Yeah.
I'm not that bad. I think listeners of our podcast can attest to the fact that...
No, you aren't that bad. I'm being over the top. It's more like...
I'm
so
quite
what
delightful.
I picture, genuinely, what I could picture happening is, do you remember Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Del Boy had his son, Damien?
No.
Okay, well, later on in the series, Del Boy and his wife have a child called Damien.
Yep.
And it despises Rodney.
Okay.
Like, every time, even as a baby, whenever it sees Rodney, it, like, cries and stuff, and Rodney is scared of the child. And the whole implication was that Damien was basically the son of Satan. I feel like that's what I imagine your kid would be like. Like, you'd be like, Jack, look, it's my son. And I'd be like, oh, man, that's really nice. And then, like, I can imagine the baby being really scary to me.
But just to you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, everyone else just thinks this baby's totally normal.
So back to Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
What did you think of the superhero aspect?
It's weird. I like it.
It's a bit out of left field.
Like, so there's the novels, the comics that he's reading, which are about a man called Turbo Rider.
Yeah.
And then the implication is that it's just like a comic book. And then about halfway through the film, he discovers a crashed spaceship that contains the corpse of Turbo Rider with a suit of armor and a glove that fires like explosive laser beams.
But it does need charging.
They also don't explain that there's no one is surprised that Turbo Rider's real.
No.
It's great.
I was wondering if maybe like Turbo Riders was like a bit like G.I. Joe. So like Turbo Rider wasn't one person, but it was like an army almost.
Well, no, I think the implication is that it is one person. But I guess it is like G.I. Joe in the fact that he was real in their world.
Yeah, and it was almost like military propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda. Jeez, you're not that posh. Some classic propaganda.
Propaganda, darling.
But yeah, no, I liked the superhero-y aspect of it.
Yeah. Would you say this is a superhero movie?
No.
What genre?
It's like what do apocalypse films usually fall under? What's like the
sci-fi?
Is there so then I'd say it's a sci-fi. Yeah, it's like it's very Mad Max in like premise.
Okay, so if you had to describe Turbo Kid in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Apocalypse, funny-ish. So apocalypse, fun, and the greatest movie ever, which is 3 words by itself. So I guess I'd have to cut all the others.
No, wait, the greatest movie ever is a bit hyperbolic.
Go watch it would be the 3 words.
That's a good 3-word choice.
You?
Yeah, super duper good.
That's also a good 3-word choice.
Thank you. Like I'm not going to say one of the greatest movies ever, But it's a rollicking good time.
Yeah, it is.
Another good 3 words.
So go on, what would you give it out of 5, Liam?
I think it's a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, see, I think I would give it 4.5 out of 5.
You said it's the greatest movie ever. That's surely got to be 5 out of 5.
You can say stuff without meaning it, Liam.
Why would you do that, though? That's lying.
It's not lying.
Sorry, if you say something without meaning it, that's definitely lying.
No, it's over-exaggerating. That's not a lie.
It's a little white lie.
Yeah, alright, fine. It's a white lie. 4.5 out of 5.
That's a good score.
Thank you. I tried really hard.
Would you say, like, top 10 of the movies you've ever seen? Or top 20? Or top 50?
I mean, I don't have lists like you, but I guess it would probably fall somewhere in the top 20.
Okay, so people can understand where you're coming from, right? Could you give the name of a movie that you think is better than this and a movie that you think is worse, but like by a margin?
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't make any sense because I'd go Star Wars is better than this, Fantasia was worse than this.
Fantasia is terrible, isn't it? Do we agree
we had
on
this
that?
discussion last time. Yeah. Everyone agrees.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. No one likes Fantasia.
No, some people really do like it.
Listeners, if any of you like Fantasia, please write in and explain to us why you like it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know how wrong you are.
I mean, not even that. I just genuinely would find it interesting to see what someone's viewpoint who likes it was.
When was the last time you watched it?
As a kid.
Do you think if you watched it now as an adult, it might be different?
I can't even imagine trying to watch it.
I tried recently and it was laborious.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just not a great movie.
Yeah. So one movie that you say is marginally better and one that you would say is marginally worse.
See, but I don't know, because mine is the way my brain works with these films. It doesn't like
all right.
put them on a scale. Do you know what I mean?
I'll help. Is this better or worse than the first Mad Max film?
I haven't seen the first Mad Max film.
Is this better or worse than Mad Max Fury Road?
I think this is slightly worse than Fury Road.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Is this better or worse than Total Recall?
Remake or original?
Original.
Haven't seen the original.
Is this better or worse than Star Wars?
Worse. Which Star Wars?
Episode 1.
Better.
Episode 2.
Better.
Episode 3.
Better.
Episode 4.
Worse.
Episode 5.
Worse.
Episode 6.
Worse.
Episode 7.
Worse.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
So there you go. On Jack's scale, it's better than some of those films and worse than some of those films.
Yeah. What about Top Gun?
Better.
Better than Top Gun?
I'm not a huge fan of Top Gun.
What is wrong with you?
Too much naked volleyball.
Sorry, what's wrong with that?
They're all very toned men.
Yeah, again, what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. I'm
like,
just not a huge fan of it.
If we're allowed to fetishize like women running around in like skimpy underwears, then surely it's okay for us to be looking at men doing that as well.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't make a good movie though.
No, but why not?
I don't agree with people fetishizing women, so...
But you do
I don't agree with... No, I don't.
You've never seen Baywatch?
No, I don't watch Baywatch. And I'm not excited about the new Baywatch
film.
Fuck
off, that's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, because you like fetishizing women and The Rock.
No, actually, you're way off base. I like fetishizing The Rock and Zac Efron, and both are going to be in Baywatch.
Yeah, so that is your ideal film.
It's going to be fucking glorious. It's probably my most anticipated movie of next year, and we've got Star Wars Episode 8 coming out next year. Why not?
Because you're not allowed to masturbate in cinemas.
Yeah, you can.
It's special ones.
You're just not allowed to be caught doing it.
That's sort of the way most crimes work.
Exactly. But no, like, I think I can control myself.
Okay, we'll see.
So, okay, I have a very serious question about Turbo Kid now.
Alright, go on.
What could they have done to make this movie better for you?
Well, you answer it first, and I'll think.
They could have put The Rock in there.
Okay, so we're allowed to just be silly buggers, are we?
No, I'm sorry.
It would have been so much better if, when I put it on, it dished out a bowl of popcorn.
And a blowjob.
Yeah, there you go.
No, genuinely, though. Like, could you imagine The Rock playing the role of, like, the guy, like, the grown-up guy?
I think it would have detracted from the other actors.
What if it was The Rock playing Skeletor?
And he still didn't speak?
Yeah. And you never saw him without his mask on.
I could see that. That would be kind of cool.
That would be, wouldn't it?
Because that would be like a cool, like, bone. You'd be like, oh, I sort of vaguely recognise the body shape of that. And you'd be like, oh my god, it's The Rock.
It wouldn't be the body shape, it'd be that winning smile.
You don't see his mouth.
You'd just know it was there.
Okay.
Did you think that would make the film better?
Yeah, if The Rock played Skeletor, yeah.
Okay, so that was my suggestion. What's your
suggestion? That's not detracting from the guy that played Skeletor.
No, he is good, but
he's good.
Literally no one is The Rock.
Yeah.
So what do you think could make the film better?
I don't know.
Zac Efron playing the kid? Oh, that would have been brilliant.
I'm not as much of a fan of Zac Efron as you.
What?
I don't like Zac Efron that much.
What have you seen him in?
Loads of stuff.
No, let's do some real talk. What have you seen him in?
List some fucking films that he's in.
Bad Neighbours.
Haven't seen it.
High School Musical.
Haven't seen it.
Me and Orson Welles.
Haven't seen it.
High School Musical 2.
Haven't seen it.
17 again.
Haven't seen it.
That Awkward Moment.
Haven't seen it.
The Lucky One.
Haven't seen it.
Neighbours 2.
Haven't seen it.
Day Grandpa.
Haven't seen it.
We Are Your Friends.
Haven't seen it.
Parkland.
Haven't seen it.
The Paperboy.
Haven't seen it.
Liberal Arts.
Haven't seen it.
New Year's Eve.
Haven't seen it.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Haven't seen it.
Hairspray.
Don't think I've seen it.
Firefly.
What are you talking about?
He's in the Firefly TV show.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
As who?
Young Simon.
Oh, is this when he's like a kid?
Yeah, in 2002.
Okay. I have seen it.
He's good in that, isn't he?
I don't remember him in it.
Do you know what really bothers me? Like now, I absolutely adore Zac Efron. Okay, that's no secret to anyone. He is like around, like just about 2 months older than me. Okay,
Yeah.
and he looks like the way he looks, and I look like the way I look.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
I know, that's how the world works as such.
No. But literally, how did that happen? Like, I'm not even talking about like his face. Ignore like anything genetic, and just look at his body.
Alright, well do you want me to actually tell you how that happened?
And
how you didn't end up looking like that?
Am I going to like the answer?
Probably not.
Then I don't want you to tell me.
Okay.
So that was our thoughts on Turbo Kid. We hope you enjoyed Turbo Kid. If you did, drop us a message, let us know. Next time, don't forget, we'll be doing Southern Bastards Volume 1. So if you want to get involved, try and get us maybe a tweet or a direct message on Twitter or even an email, and details of how you do that are coming up. Send it over to us and we'll be delighted to read it out on the next episode of Nerd on Nerd.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Nerd on Nerd. I've been Jack Kempster.
I've been Liam Underwood.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at Nerd on Nerd, or you can email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Don't forget, because you do, guys, you do, some of you forget, go and rate us on iTunes, give us 5 stars. I'm not even going to pretend like there's any other option. We're begging you to give us 5 stars. That's how pathetic we've gotten.
Stop
Also, go on
saying
YouTube.
we.
What?
You keep saying we. You're the one that's begging them for 5 stars.
Alright, fine. Liam says go give us 1 star, I say go give us 5.
I didn't say that.
Also, we have a YouTube channel, which, again, we haven't got the custom URL for yet, but we will
We
soon,
need
hopefully.
100 subscribers.
So if all of you go and create fake accounts 100 times, we'll have way more than that.
We literally only need 96 more subscribers.
See, guys? So there you go. If one of you makes 96 fake accounts, we're sorted.
2 of you could only make about 45, and we're well on our way.
Exactly. So it's barely any work on your part, guys. But yeah, until then, the way to find us is search Nerd on Nerd. I usually search episode 1. It's called A Fleshlight, and that's gets you there.
Hopefully at some point, just typing in Nerd on Nerd will get you there.
That's the dream.
But I mean, we do dream pretty big on this show.
Bye.
Bye.